Hi, this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. Today is Monday, September the 10th. I'm just coming back from vacation, and I was hoping to come back to a better day than what we had today. And just looking back, this is really just a continuation from the range on Friday, and you can see that was kind of the range across there on Friday. And that turned out to kind of be the range across here. We broke a little lower finally late this afternoon, and we're headed a little bit lower. There's about 15 minutes left in the trading day. But I got a lot to do to catch up, so I'm going to go ahead and do the chart lesson for today. There just weren't a lot of entries. It was really slow, and um, there wasn't much going on, and I hate it because I really was hoping for a big day today. Since I was gone all last week and didn't make any money, it would have been nice to make some money today. But anyway, here's what we were looking at. I'll show you my trades. Like I said, I'm going to try to make this sweet and quick today because there wasn't much going on anyway. And again, I'll just show you back across here. You can see these were the lows from Friday and these were the highs from Friday. And if you come over here, that's what we had today. And we had this overnight gap. If you don't use a 24-hour chart, you won't see this gap. Actually, yeah, you will, because the market opened right in here someplace. And at 8:30 this morning, and this is where it closed at 3:15 last Friday. So you still should have seen that gap. But generally, we try to fill those gaps, and you see we went up and exactly to the tick filled that gap today, and then we worked down the rest of the day. And actually, we actually had some movement late this afternoon, but it was so late in the day that after about 2:30, I don't think it's wise to trade anymore. And so I'm not going to mark any of that down there. I'm just going to mark what we had early. And we had a nice long entry right here. We were kind of working up a little bit, but what we had was, I should have had my line already on here. We had a kind of a low right across there like so. I'll get my line straight. But you can see that low right across there, and we broke lower, failed, and then we had this little bitty inside bar, and that's generally, it's better if we'd have ticked down and then turned up, but that's good enough right there to take a long above, especially when the highs are way back up here, because you figure that's where we're coming back to test the highs. And I really was looking for us to come back and fill this gap, and that's exactly where we went there. But you had a long right here. It took it a while to work through, but it did. And then you had another long right here, which is just another bounce off these lows right here. And the reason we didn't go long here was because we were too close to this high right across here. So we needed a little more room, and we needed this was a fairly bullish bar. And if you'd have taken this one, as long as you kept your stop down here below the lows of this, you probably were okay. But if you entered above this bar, or I'm sorry, above this bar and had your stop there, you got stopped out by one stop. And really, you can kind of see the lows right there. And this is a nice bullish bar after breaking lower and turning up. And there's a little more room to scalp out here, and so that was a fairly nice trade. If you missed this one, I can understand why. There's a lot of overlap. It's not a great setup, but we came back and tested this breakout area once, twice, and then 3 times. So that's kind of a failed second entry short there to a degree. It's you don't want to be trading off that. But if you saw this and took it, it was a great trade. If you didn't see it, it wasn't the best setup, but I felt like it was worth marking because we were definitely trending higher. We're making higher highs and higher lows up through here. And this is also a breakout pullback long. That was the second reason for entering that trade right there. And it didn't take very long. It moved pretty quickly. I think most people saw this trap here. This is a short trap. The reason we didn't go long here is we've already filled the gap, and there's just so many overlapping bars. And this is definitely, look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars that are all in that same, actually we got 7, 8, 9 bars in there, but I'd start looking at it right about here. and you can just see how all those are overlapping. And we did get a little break down here that kind of created a trap, but it's just not wise to trade out of that stuff because usually it fails. And you really could have gone short here, but it was better to wait. We had a first entry long, a second entry long, and that trapped all the longs, and so that was worth. You had a long trap right here at the highs from Friday, right after filling the gap. So that was worth taking a short, and that worked out pretty good. And then we had all these lows across here, and that's a failed break lower. And I really thought we might work higher from there, but we didn't. But it was good for a scalp. And you really could have gone short here too, but I didn't like it because of the 3 overlapping bars and the doji and the fact that we just failed lower. It's not a great setup, so I didn't mark it. Then we finally broke lower here. This is a 2-legged pullback to the EMA, and it kind of set the trend line for this down move. And there's your first leg up, your pullback, your second leg up. So that's 2 legs back. It's a little double top, really, right across there at the EMA. There's still plenty of room to come scalp out before hitting these lows, and these are really the lows right here. I usually like to use the closes, but these are technically the lows, and so you see there's plenty of room to come down there, and you see that's right where we stalled. Again, there's your lows from the overnight, and that's right where we, so there's plenty of room to get out right there. And so this turned out to be a good short. No runners, unfortunately, but we did have a nice short there. And then I just didn't mark anything else for the rest of the day. There's just not much going on there. This is a 2-legged pull back to the EMA, or to the trend line rather, because you did have a trend line now, and we had 2 touches of it right there. So if you were still trading, this was a good setup, but it was so late in the day, it's after 2:30 that's past our cutoff time, so I didn't like that trade, and I didn't mark it. And that's really all there was today. And none of these are actually, this is a pretty good setup, but most of these are not the greatest setups, and you could have just got stuck today watching this, but if you did, that's okay, because that's better than getting sucked into a bad trade. So hopefully the rest of the week it'll pick up a little bit. And again, I hope you had a good trading week last week. I haven't even looked at the prices other than Friday to see what happened. Looks like we had some up movement, so this was a really good day. Okay, I had an interruption there, and I don't even know where I left off. So but anyway, hopefully you can see that there's your range for pretty much Friday. Your lows were consistently across here. You had this little break down here early in the morning, but this was consistently your support, and these was your double top, was your highs for the day. We did go a little bit higher right at the close, but that turned out to pretty much be the highs for today, and of course the lows were the lows. And I already talked about the trade, so I'm going to wrap it up. I apologize if I just can't remember where we were even at. I got interrupted for probably a half hour there. By the time I got back to you, I'm not sure where I was even at. So, but hope you had a good week last week. Oh, I think that's what I was talking about. We had a pretty good rally. It looked like a couple of days last week, which I saw that after the market. Now that I think back about it, I did check the markets when I came in at the end of the evening. I turned on CNBC just to see what was going on, and we did have a really nice rally one day there. I remember that now. And so hopefully you made some money on that day. Hopefully we'll get some more movement this week and get a chance to make some money this week. But I'm going to wrap it up, and I've got a lot of catching up to do, and I will see you tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com.